Hola clase, hoy vamos a aprender las capitales de los países hispanohablantes. Today we're going to talk about the capitals of Spanish-speaking countries. It's really important when learning a foreign language that you learn where you can go use this language, and thankfully Spanish is very popular around the world, and there's quite a few countries that have Spanish as official language. And so that leads me to the question that we have right on the screen. ¿Hay cuántos países hispanohablantes? How many Spanish-speaking countries are there? Hay 21. There are 21 Spanish-speaking countries. And in this list, unfortunately, is not the United States, even though the United States has the second most highest population of Spanish speakers. Spanish is not our official language. The only country that has more Spanish speakers than the United States is Mexico. So today we're going to learn a little bit about these countries and their capitals, just because it's good to know a little bit more anything outside of your country. So vamos. So these are the continents where you can find, or the areas that you can find Spanish spoken. You have Europa, Europe, America Central, Central America, America del Sur, South America, where you're going to find the majority of Spanish-speaking countries. You have El Caribe, the Caribbean, America del Norte, so North America. Mexico is actually part of North America, and it's not a part of Central America. And you have one Spanish-speaking country in Africa. Okay, vamos. So vamos a comenzar en Europa. We're going to start in Europe. So what Spanish-speaking country is in Europe? Spain, España. ¿Y cuál es la capital de España? La capital de España es Madrid. So we're moving on to America Central, Central America, where you have 6 Spanish-speaking countries. Guatemala. ¿Cuál es la capital de Guatemala? This one's pretty easy. Guatemala City or la ciudad de Guatemala? Honduras. ¿Cuál es la capital de Honduras? La capital es Tegucigalpa. I know that looks like a real mouthful, so to break it down, one of the things about learning Spanish that makes the pronunciations a little bit easier is that they break it down by syllable. So you would say Tegucigalpa. El Salvador. ¿Cuál es la capital de El Salvador? La capital es San Salvador. Nicaragua. ¿Cuál es la capital de Nicaragua? La capital es Managua. Nicaragua is an incredible country. I was fortunate enough to spend a summer there. It is one of the poorest countries in Central America, but it is very rich in culture, and the people are extremely welcoming, and it was an incredible time. And I'll talk about that later this semester, a little bit about Nicaragua. We have Costa Rica. ¿Cuál es la capital de Costa Rica? San Jose. So San Jose es la capital de Costa Rica. This is a really popular place with tourists, especially for American tourists. There are a lot of adventure activities that you can do in Costa Rica, and we'll be talking a little bit about Costa Rica later in the semester as well. Panama. ¿Cuál es la capital de Panama? La capital de Panama es la ciudad de Panama. Estamos en América del Norte, so we're in North America, and we have one country que habla español. So we have Mexico, y la capital de Mexico es la ciudad de Mexico, or Mexico City. Estamos en America del Sur. So here we are in South America, where the majority of the Spanish-speaking countries are. So there are 9 countries in South America that speak Spanish. First, we have Venezuela. La capital de Venezuela es Caracas. Colombia. ¿Cuál es la capital de Colombia? La capital es Bogotá. Ecuador. ¿Cuál es la capital de Ecuador? La capital es Quito. So Ecuador is Spanish for equator because Ecuador sits right on the equator. So also, if you wanted to go visit the Galapagos Islands, they are owned by Ecuador, so you have to travel through Ecuador to get to the Galapagos Islands. Bolivia. La capital de Bolivia es... Actualmente hay dos capitales de Bolivia. There's actually two capitals of Bolivia. So you have La Paz y El Sucre. And over here to your left, you guys can see the school bus. This is La Calle de Muerte, so this is Death Road. And obviously you can see there is no room for air. Don't want to be texting and driving in this scenario. La capital de Peru, or Peru, la capital de Peru es Lima. And on the left is one of my students from trip. The past couple of years, we've done trips to Peru where we go into villages that don't have access to healthcare or education. We do health campaigns, and we also visit Machu Picchu, which I'm pretty sure that we talk about this semester just a little bit, we touch on, so that'll be really exciting. So I'm excited to share a little bit of my knowledge about Peru with you as well. Uruguay. Este es un hotel famoso. This is a famous hotel in Uruguay. ¿Cuál es la capital de Uruguay? La capital es Montevideo. Argentina. ¿Cuál es la capital de Argentina? In English, it would mean good air. En español, la capital es Buenos Aires. Paraguay. La capital de Paraguay es Asunción. Chile. ¿Cuál es la capital de Chile? La capital es Santiago. Estamos en el Caribe. We're in the Caribbean. So, hay tres países que hablan español en el Caribe. So there's three countries that speak Spanish in the Caribbean, one of them being Cuba. ¿Y cuál es la capital de Cuba? La capital es Havana, and in Espanol it's Habana with a B. And so another good question to know, one of the reasons I think it's important that we learn capitals of other countries is also really important to know geography. Americans aren't so... we're not necessarily famous for being really good about our geography. So how many miles is Cuba from the United States? If you guessed 90, you are correct. So Cuba is really, really close to the United States, and it has had a lot of influence in the southern part of the United States as well as other parts. And I visited Cuba. It's one of my most favorite countries. And so I look forward to talking about Cuba with you later on this semester. There's a lot of things that misconceptions about this country, and so I'm really excited to clear those up for you guys. Okay, vamos. We have Puerto Rico. So la capital de Puerto Rico es San Juan. So Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. They use American money. You can travel freely between Puerto Rico and the United States without a passport. And so this is a great place to go practice your Spanish and a beautiful, beautiful island to go visit. We have La República Dominicana. Y la capital, ¿cuál es? La capital es Santo Domingo. And our last continente is Africa, y el país the country is Equatorial Guinea. ¿Y cuál es la capital? La capital es Malaba. So those are the 21 Spanish-speaking countries that are in the world. So remember, the United States is not part of that list, but they have the second highest most Spanish speakers in the world. And so it's always good to know where you can go use your Spanish. All of these countries are very rich in culture, and not only is it great to be able to practice your Spanish, but it's also great to learn how other people choose to live in this world. It's really fascinating. There's 7 billion people on this planet, and everybody's having a different experience. So um, it's always really interesting and fun to go see how other people live in this world. Okay, so que tenga buen día. I hope you enjoyed our little lesson on capitals today, and nos vemos pronto. We'll see each other soon. Ciao.